So students, the first question that could come for your exams is, what is mobile computing and what are the applications of mobile computing? Okay. So the first question that could come for you in unit 1 is, what is mobile computing and what are the applications of mobile computing? So can someone tell me the answer for it? In your own words, you can tell me. Sakshi, can you tell me the answer for it? What is mobile computing and what are the applications? Yeah, correct. Ability to compute remotely while on the move. Okay, that is important. While on the move. Okay, so ability to compute remotely, but while on the move. So this is the definition of mobile computing, and then there are so many applications of mobile computing with respect to GPS, with respect to online shopping, e-commerce. So you can write about all of those applications. Okay. So this question could come for 5 marks. So please note it down. Second question that could come to you, very important question. What are the characteristics of mobile computing? Okay. So like we had discussed, there are 4 characteristics, important characteristics of mobile computing: ubiquity, location awareness, adaptation, broadcast, and personalization. Okay. But by mistake I said 4. There are five characteristics. So you have to write about all of these 5 characteristics. Okay. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of ubiquity? Yeah, Prathamesh, you want to answer?
Yeah, it's basically the presence of an everywhere. Means a person can perform computation as and
Yes.
when required.
Yes, you can perform the computation from anywhere and anytime. Okay, so that is the meaning of ubiquity. Second one is location awareness. Location awareness means detecting your mobile with the help of GPS. So you can track the user, and then based on this GPS, there are so many applications. Okay, so you can give some example about the GPS applications. Third one is adaptation. Okay, what is adaptation? You can refer to your notes if you are having your notes. Okay, the adaptation means, yeah, correct, Rutvija. Adjusting to the bandwidth fluctuations. Okay, so the bandwidth, as you know, in a mobile networks keeps on fluctuating. So there are various factors, obstacles, environmental noise, or you keep changing your networks. So there's a handoff. Okay, handoff is nothing but wherein but the cell, you leave one cell, the mobile leaves a cell and goes to another cell. So the connection has to be handed over to a new network or new base station. So that is known as handoff. Your mobile computing network has to adapt to such a thing. Okay. Then the fourth characteristic is broadcast. Broadcast means you're going to simultaneously make avail the communication. So there should be efficient delivery of the simultaneous communication. Okay. So you should be able to support hundreds of mobile users. The last characteristic is personalization. So according to each user, the services should be able to be adjusted, personalized according to each user's profile. Okay. I know we have done all these topics previously, but I'm just repeating so that each one of you should know what should be the answer, the correct answer. Okay. In case some of you had missed the class. These are the 5 characteristics. Very important question from the point of your exams and your ITs. So it could come for 5 to 10 marks. Next question that could be asked is, what is the structure of a mobile computing application? So again, we have discussed that there are mostly your mobile computing application deals with 3 layers. The presentation layer is the topmost layer, application layer is the middle layer, and data layer is the lowest layer. So then we have discussed in detail how these layers interact with each other. Okay, so this is the next important question. What is the structure of a mobile computing application? Does anyone need any explanation on this topic? Structure of mobile computing application? Okay, so then we had discussed some things for your tutorials. Okay, so in your tutorial books I'd given you some questions like what is the reference model. Okay, so you have to study that reference model from your tutorial book. I had mentioned all the layers, how that reference model, the layers in that model interact with each other. Okay, so that is one important question. Next question is, what is line of sight? So can someone tell me, let's just discuss some of these questions that we have done for tutorials. So what is line of sight? Can someone tell me what you all have understood? Refer to your books and tell me what you have understood by line of sight. I'm not asking any specific person. Okay, so anyone can reply
Basically,
from.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically it is in one direction, like focusing without changing the.
Yeah, line of sight means the sender and receiver can see each other, kind of like, okay, there's no obstacles between the sender and the receiver. So there's a straight line of communication without any obstacles in between. Okay, that is the meaning of line of sight. So the question that you could get is whether what happens if there are obstacles, like, so if your line of sight is blocked by some obstacles, will the communication, yes, will the communication still happen? Suppose I ask you this question in your IT. Okay, what will be your answer be? If there is no line of sight, okay, line of sight, you'll have understood, no? What is line of sight? Line of sight means the wave, the radio, the communication happens in a straight line between the sender and receiver without obstructions. So if I put a question in your IT, if there's no proper line of sight, meaning there's no straight line of communication between the sender and receiver, will the communication still happen? Justify. Based on that answer that you'll have written in your tutorial books, can someone try to answer? What will be your answer? Yes, students? Anyone? Yes. What Sakshi has answered is correct. The communication will still happen, but there will be all those various other effects that will be possible on the signal. Okay. So even if there is no proper line of sight, due to those additional signal propagation effects that you all may have written, I'll just share the screen and I'll discuss this with you so that all of you are clear. It's there in your textbook, okay? On page, this is on your Jochen Schiller textbook, okay? So on Jochen Schiller's textbook, when you refer to that, it is additional signal propagation effect, okay? So this is the question. So basically, I'm asking you, why do mobile phones work without a line of sight? Okay, so that is the it works because of all these other effects that are possible. So even if there's no proper line of sight, what is line of sight? This is line of sight. Okay, this is the definition here. You can just read what I just told you. The emitted waves follow a straight line, more or less. Okay, it's not like possible always, but more or less when the radio waves are following a straight line, or your that is the line of sight. So why does your mobile phones work even if there is no straight line of communication? Okay, that is because of all these various other effects that are there on the signal. So these are the various effects that you have studied or you were supposed to write for your tutorials. Okay, so there is these effects like shadowing, reflection, refraction, scattering, and diffraction. Okay, so because of all these effects, that is why your radio waves or your communication happens between mobiles even if there is no proper line of sight. So you need to write this answer for that. Clear? So please remember and write down this answer. You could write down the question as, why do mobile phones work even without an line of sight? So line of sight you have to write in short form like this, LOS. You can write the full form also, no problem. Then you can write, so in real life, the line of sight is not possible. So due to all these various additional effects, okay, and you can describe all these effects. The diagrams are also given here. You can mention all these effects, okay. Read this, okay, and if you are having any doubt, I'll just keep this open. You start reading this. If you are having any doubt, you let me know. I'll explain you these effects. Just read this and let me know if you're having any doubts. Is this okay, students? All these effects, just read. Yeah, Disha. Any doubt? Meghna, Tanvi, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's continue then. You can read this. Okay, I've shared the textbook with you all. See, these textbooks are shared with you, so you can read this textbook material, and then if you have any doubts, I'll clarify. Okay. So let's continue. The next important question that can be asked is with regards to your MAC protocol. So the most important question at the very start of the chapter is, what is the need for a specialized MAC? Okay. So we have discussed this a lot in many lectures. So in that we have discussed that how the wired protocols, some protocols, you can give an example like CSMA, how the CSMA protocol that has been designed and works so fine for the wired protocol doesn't work for the wireless. And then you can explain also how the hidden and the exposed terminal problems, how it can give rise to the hidden terminal problem, how the exposed terminal problem, okay, how those things happen, and due to which these things don't work so fine. Okay. Does anyone want an explanation why we need a specialized MAC? Has everyone understood it, or anyone needs an explanation about it? Yes, students, all of you are comfortable with the answer? You can let me know. I can repeat the answer if you want. Okay, so the next question that you need to note down is, what are the properties required of MAC protocols? So for the properties required of MAC protocols, again on your textbook there are 5 points. So you need to write down all those 5 points. Okay, on page 52 and 53 of your textbook it's there. So we have discussed all these points previously. So you need to write down these 5 points, like enforcing discipline, maximizing the utilization of the channel, then being fair, and supporting several types of traffic, and has to be robust, can handle the equipment failures, and so on. Okay, so these are the 5 points that you need to elaborate and write. So this is the properties required of MAC protocol. So remember, these are two separate questions. What is the need for special MAC? That is a separate answer. And what are the properties required of MAC protocols? Normally students make a mistake, and when you ask the properties, you start writing the answer for the specialized MAC. So please do not make that mistake. Okay. The question for specialized MAC could be also asked differently. Like you could be asked, give example of a protocol that works fine for wired networks but does not work for wireless. And then it's the same answer. You have to explain about CSME. Okay, or you can explain any other protocol if you like, if you know how to give an example. Okay, so then the next important question that can be asked is, explain the hidden terminal problem. So I think hidden terminal problem everyone understands, right? Uh, some of you get confused in the next question. So next question that can be asked is, what is exposed terminal problem? So in exposed terminal problem, some of you get confused. Okay. Anyone wants me to explain hidden terminal, exposed terminal problem? Okay. Next question that could be asked for you on MAC protocols is, explain, give a taxonomy of MAC protocols. Okay, you can just write down what it is. I'll write down the spelling for you here. Taxonomy. give a taxonomy of MAC protocols. So basically, when you ask this question, they're asking you the classification of MAC protocols. Okay. So with respect to your wireless MAC protocols, so we have already discussed it that there are three different categories of wireless MAC protocols. The taxonomy of MAC protocols means classification of MAC protocols. So they can be divided into three types: fixed assignment scheme, random assignment scheme, and reservation based scheme or demand based schemes. So these are your three types. So this is what you have to briefly explain in this answer. So you have to just briefly explain what are the schemes that come under fixed assignment, random assignment, and reservation. Okay. So we have discussed under fixed assignment, there are three types of protocols: FDMA, TDMA, CDMA. Okay. And then under random assignment schemes, we have discussed Aloha, Slotted Aloha, CSMA, CSMA CD, and CSMA CA. And under reservation based scheme, we have discussed about the MACA, that is multiple access collision avoidance. So this is the answer that you're going to write for the taxonomy of MAC protocols. So you're going to describe the three categories, and then within the three categories, the subcategories. So we're going to briefly describe what you mean by fixed assignment, what you mean by random assignment schemes, and what are the reservation based scheme. Okay. So do you all want me to discuss this? Can someone tell what you mean by fixed assignment schemes? What are fixed assignment schemes? In fixed assignment, are the resources reserved or they are not reserved for the duration of the call? Whatever resources are required. Okay, I'll just tell you. Yeah, correct. Resources are reserved. Okay, and it's a circuit switch scheme. Random assignment schemes are packet switch scheme. Okay, and reservation schemes are we use those signals RTS and CTS to book the medium or to book the medium between the sender and the receiver. Okay. So again, under fixed assignment schemes, you could be asked separate questions on FDMA, TDMA, and CDMA. You could be asked to explain the working of FDMA and the advantages and disadvantages of all these schemes. Okay. Then in class, I've taught you a problem on CDMA, and then we have discussed how CDMA works. You have to be able to write the working, the applications of this FDMA, TDMA, CDMA, and advantages, disadvantages. Okay. Similar with the random assignment schemes, you could be asked the working or the differences. Now remember, since you have already studied this in your previous subject, the question paper setter may assume that these schemes he can ask you like what are the differences between Aloha, Slotted Aloha. So you should be able to write all these schemes. Okay. So again, you should be able to write the working and the advantages and disadvantages of these schemes. Then in reservation-based schemes, they may ask you what is a reservation-based scheme. So then you have to write that you have to explain how the RTS and CTS works. Okay. Then we have discussed what the RTS contains, what the CTS contains, and how before actual communication begins, the RTS and CTS are exchanged between the sender and the receiver. Okay. You need to explain this. Then we discussed the only one scheme in this reservation based scheme, that is MACA, okay, multiple access collision avoidance, and we discussed how using RTS and CTS the hidden terminal and exposed terminal problem is solved. So in any of these schemes that I've just mentioned, does anyone want any kind of explanation? Has any doubts? Okay. Can we have already discussed this, but since just for the sake of everyone, can you all tell me when the MACA can still fail? See, we say that MACA solves the hidden terminal and exposed terminal problem, no? But there is a time during which it can still fail in solving that problem. At what time is it possible? When is it possible? During the exchange of which kind of message? Yes, like Yash has written here, MACA still fails when multiple stations send RTS at the same time. Okay, so that's the only time it can fail. But why we still accept, even though this it can fail, why we still accept MACA? Okay, although MACA fails, why we still accept it? Why it's acceptable? Anyone? Why we still accept MACA algorithm even if it's failing? Yeah, because the RTS data is a small, is the loss of RTS or the collision of RTS is not a major loss. The data packets are considered to be a major problem if we start losing those packets. The retransmission of those packets will be consuming too much bandwidth, but retransmitting RTS will not be consuming that much bandwidth. Okay. So anyone again any explanation about this, about how MACA solves hidden terminal or exposed terminal problem? Anyone wants a explanation? Okay, then coming over to the next topic that we had discussed, mobile IP. Okay, in mobile IP, the first question that could come is, what is the need for a mobile IP? What is the need for mobile IP? So can someone answer? Why is what the IP does in normal networks, and why a special IP is required or modified IP is required for mobiles? Sakshi Maurya, can you try? What is the answer for this question? What is the need for mobile IP? You can unmute yourself and answer.
Yes, so in mobile IP, the sender sends the packets to the receiver through the internet. So if the sender is sending the packet to the system A, and system A changes the place from one LAN to another LAN, the IP address also changes.
Yes.
So receiver will receive the packet as long as it stay at one place, but as it has changed its location, so it won't receive the packet. So if the sender is sending 10 packet at a time, so it will receive, so after receiving five packets, suppose the mobile shift to the another network, so sender will not able to send the remaining packet to the receiver, as the sender is not aware that of the new IP address. So we can't use the IP-based routing scheme in the wireless network. So we required mobile IP.
Correct. Anyone has any doubt about what she just mentioned? Okay. So basically, in like a mobile, what is the function of a mobile computing is you want to access the internet from a remote location while you're moving, right? As long as you keep moving, you want access to the network. So the present IP scheme, which we use for wired networks, will not allow you to do that. In that present scheme, as long as you're having a fixed IP address and you're staying at one place, you will continue to receive the data. Okay. The moment you move to a different location, you get a new IP address. So then you won't receive the data. So that's why you need a special IP. That is the modified IP that handles your mobile computing. Okay. So you can give some example, give your own example, okay, and explain like this. How when first you start by explaining how your present IP system works, IP routing. Okay, what is the function of IP? Okay, so you will tell that the function of IP is routing of packets. Okay, then you will tell how the IP routing works in a current fixed system, wired system. Then you can give any example. You can take two IP addresses and then you tell that the packets will continue to be sent to this location. Okay, and you can give even a example of some postal, not with respect to system. You can give with respect to some people also to make illustrate your point. Okay, like for example, I've told you. I'll just share the screen and tell you. You say there are two friends. Okay, say this friend is in Goa and the other friend is in Mumbai. So initially they exchange their addresses. So this Mumbai friends will tell his address that he stays at XYZ Mumbai. The Goa friend will tell he stays at some ABC in Goa. So whenever these two are communicating, say they're sending the letters, they will put each other respective address and send to each other. So they know these addresses because at the beginning they had exchanged these addresses with each other. Okay. Then say after a certain time, this fellow moves to some new location, goes abroad, say to UK. So his address has changed now. Okay. So this fellow is no longer here and he does not inform this friend in Goa. So if the Goa friend is sending to this friend, he will continue to send to the Mumbai address because he does not know the new address. So when he keeps sending here, the data will be obviously lost. So you can replace all these things with IP addresses and then explain. Okay. So this is the concept how data gets lost in your fixed networks with the present scheme. Okay. So we need a IP scheme which will allow you to continue to access the data when you keep moving. So that is done through the mobile IP. So then to understand mobile IP, how it works, how your packets are delivered even when you keep moving, we went through the diagram known as the packet delivery diagram. Okay, mobile IP packet delivery. So your next question that can be asked is, explain with the help of a diagram the packet delivery in mobile IP. And that is a very important question. Need for mobile IP also very important question. So then the packet delivery system we have explained, wherein there are 4 to 5 steps in which when the mobile node goes to a foreign network, the packet delivery is still done. Okay. So does anyone want an explanation on these two questions? Need for mobile IP and second question is packet delivery in mobile IP. Okay. The next question that could be asked is explain the various terms with respect to mobile IP. So various terms are like home network, home agent, foreign network, correspondent node, care of address, tunnel, encapsulation, discapsulation, agent discovery. Okay, so all these terms may be asked to be explained, and you need to be able to write all these terms. Okay, then you could be asked, explain what you mean by tunneling and encapsulation and decapsulation. So then you can write about what is tunneling and encapsulation and decapsulation. So anyone who has not understood these things that I'm mentioning, what is tunneling, what is encapsulation, what is decapsulation? Anyone who wants to be explained? Okay. Then the next question that could be asked is, what are the desirable features of mobile IP? So there are 4 features: transparency, compatibility, security, and efficiency and scalability. So these are the features of mobile IP that you need to write about. Okay. So next question that could be asked is, what are the key mechanisms used in mobile IP? Then the answer to this is, there are 3 key mechanisms. So you need to shorten this answer. This answer will come for 8 marks. If you start writing about everything, and it will become 3-4 pages. You will have to just compress this answer and write accordingly. So the first key mechanism is discovering the care of address, then registering the care of address, and third is the tunneling to the care of address. Okay. Separately, each of these mechanisms could be asked. So you could be asked a 8-mark question on how the discovery of foreign agent is done. What are the methods? Then you need to mention the steps and the 2 methods that we have discussed: agent advertisement, agent solicitation. So next question can be registering the care of address. What is the registration process in mobile IP? You need to draw the diagram and explain the 5 steps. And the next question that could be asked is, how is the tunneling done in mobile IP, or what is the need for tunneling? Okay, or how all that. So for tunneling, you have to explain about encapsulation and decapsulation. First mention that the mobile node has moved to a foreign network and explain all that part, and then tell why the home agent is sending or adding a new header, how the home agent adds a new header, and then encapsulate, that is known as encapsulation. Then he tunnels that packet, and then at the foreign agent side, then decapsulation is done, where the additional header is removed, and then the packet is forwarded to the mobile node. Okay. And the last topic that we had done yesterday was route optimization. So yesterday we had seen why we need to optimize the route. Okay. So we had discussed how the home agent has to keep dealing with all the packets if the MN is not present even in the home network. Even then, it has to keep receiving the packets and forwarding it to the COA. So in order to improve the bandwidth or improve the efficiency, the correspondence could be done directly between the correspondent node and the mobile node. So for that, there are 4 messages: binding request, binding update, binding acknowledgement, and binding warning. So I discussed each of these 4 messages in yesterday's lecture, and it's there on your textbook, Prashant Kumar Patnaik, on page 82 and 83. Okay, one table is given wherein this description of these 4 messages is given. So please go through all this table also that deals with the route optimization in mobile IP. So basically, this is what we have done till yesterday for your lecture, your portion. So do you all have any doubts about any of these topics so that I can solve? What do you mean by binding? Let me just ask for the students who attended yesterday's lecture. What is binding? Anyone can answer. What is binding? Yesterday I've told you this. Yes, correct. Associating the home address with the care of address, that is known as binding. Okay. So basically, in other words, in the key mechanism, we had said registration. When you that is also actually in registration process. Also, we had discussed how this address, that is the COA address, is stored by the home agent in its database. Okay. So that term is binding, where you're associating your home agent address or the home address with the COA address. Okay. So basically, these are the important concepts and the important questions. Yesterday, I had uploaded some papers on your old syllabus. Okay, this is not the syllabus that you all are studying. So only refer to the relevant topics. Not all topics from the old syllabus are there for you. Okay, in case you are referring to that, you can see I have uploaded the question papers here in this section here. Oh, I have not presented the screen. So this presented show you. So here in this section here, I have uploaded some 4-5 question papers from the whole syllabus. You can download them and go through them. Okay, not all topics are there for you. So only refer to the topics that are there in your syllabus. Okay, your tutorials, all the PPT I have uploaded the unit 2 PPT till yesterday's topic. Okay, so whoever needs to refer, you can refer to this PPT, unit 2 PPT. You can download it, and both your textbooks are here. Okay, so you can refer to both the textbooks and study for your ITs. So before I stop and I take attendance, last time I'll ask, anyone is having any doubts that you want me to solve? Okay, I'll take